Welcome to the Solemn Vanguard channel. Today we are going to analyze the meta from this past weekend as well as the weekend before that, I guess, because we didn't do that yet. As always, if you need any Vanguard cards, you can go to 50cards.shop and use the code Solemn. Link will be in the description. So we start with Puerto Rico Premium. We had two Narukami. So you saw a lot of people after the last ban list go, oh, Narukami didn't get hit, but Ripple MFD did. Now it's going to be the best deck by a landslide, blah, 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 blah. And here we see, nah, not really. Two, obviously, it's the highest representation, but out of 8, it's really not the biggest deal. There's a lot of decks that can hurt it quite a bit. Still a really good deck, of course, but nothing to be too boogeyman about. We see two Pale Moon as well, one Nightmare Doll, and actually one Harry, apparently, which is really interesting. Like, Nightmare Doll being good is no surprise. We saw it take over BRO like mad, then some decks, you know, power creeped it out, but then those decks got hit, and now we're back to Nightmare Doll just being really solid. Though, of course, because of Premium Collection 2022, it is no longer as unfair compared to everything else. Then we have one Dimension Police, really solid deck, really good counter to Narukami as well. I played Narukami for my BCS qualified worlds with it, and I was terrified of meeting DP or Regalia. I just assumed that I would be facing enough Ripple and MFD that it would be worth it. And it was. I think I played like 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 7. I don't remember. Like a bunch of Ripple that entire Swiss. Then we have one Gear Chronicle Steam Maiden, very strong deck as well. One Shirayuki. I find Shirayuki so odd. Like some games it feels so unfair, and then other games it feels so fair. I don't know, it's like a roller coaster of emotions when playing that deck. And then finally one Golds, also a pretty solid sleeper. Like it still has, if you want to, the unfair superior ride with Ezel, but you also still have the Providential Angel Ultima combo where you basically can't guard at all. And then you can also still just play, you know, your full-on Aglovale package, because that wasn't hit in any way in Premium. So you could literally play your 4 together with a Kurgid if you wanted to or something like that. Then for the Puerto Rico top 4 for V Premium, we have first and second place Steam Maiden, third place Nitros, and fourth place Steam Maiden. This makes sense. If you're not picking Steam Maiden in V, I don't know what you're doing. Like, no offense, of course, if you want to play another deck, awesome, but competitively speaking, there is nothing touching Steam Maiden in any way whatsoever. You literally need to pray to be sacking if you're not playing Steam Maiden, because when you play against Steam Maiden, you're playing against a deck that's just infinitely better than yours. And even when you're playing Steam Maiden, then you need to pray to go first in that matchup as well. So yeah, this makes sense. Then the top 4 for Premium Leeds, it seems a lot of the Eradicators were annihilated, because first place is Granblue, and I love to see that. Big fan of Granblue right here. Second place was DP, makes a lot of sense. DP definitely annihilated some of those Narukamis, I assume, but then got annihilated by Nitros, because overall Granblue does have a really solid matchup into DP. It has a lot of ways to play around with their PGs. It can even search the new order PG. Like, I don't know if you know about that, but essentially Dimension Police can break perfect guards, but as far as I'm aware, they cannot break that new trial deck order, because that's an order and it's not on the Guardian Circle, so Linka can't get rid of it. And then yeah, there goes your combo. And Granblue literally just goes Obadiah, mill that thing, Greed Shade, add it back to hand, bada bim bada boom, it's over for you. Third place is Spikes, really solid deck. Galley is an insane stride. It's actually wild that Spikes hasn't been doing more, but I think other decks just, you know, are able to do equally unfair things. But if Galley came out in like the Katrina format, I'm pretty sure Spikes would be straight up better. It's so wild. And on our 4th place, we have another Eradicator. For the top 8 Leeds Premium, we have 2 Naru, once again, not that much. 2 Pale Moon, again, still a solid deck. 1 Granblue, 1 Spikes, 1 DP, 1 Tachi. The only surprising thing here is honestly Tachi. Now, Tachi isn't bad, of course, but if I had to guess what would top a Premium event right now, I would guess all of these, but I wouldn't guess Tachi immediately, even though, again, some of its turns are still insane. If it can get the first stride against Granblue, holy shit, Granblue's probably dead, because it couldn't actually farm resources quickly enough to deal with even just, you know, the Dogma thing, not necessarily even the new stuff that they have access to. Then Puerto Rico top 8 V Premium, yeah, wow, a 5 Gear Chronicle. That's what we love to see. Very nice. Soon it'll be 8 out of 8. And then 2 Granblue and 1 Genesis. I'm glad Granblue is still doing something. V is just Steam Maiden City right now. Quickly, we can go over the VMC Malaysia, I guess. This is Youthberg. This is your format once that set drops. I hope you enjoy that as well. And then we have Puerto Rico top 4 for Standard. We have first is Prison, second is Prison, third is Prison, and fourth is Buff. This is really, really odd to me. I know Prison is solid. For it to be this solid, that's wild. wild. Still, congrats to everyone. And then for the top 4 Puerto Rico Premium, we have first place DP. This makes a lot of sense when you see second place and third place being both Naru. So DP has a really solid Naru matchup. I did see that DP in the finals won because of an over trigger, but regardless, like if you equalize some of the RNG and so forth and both players are solid, then usually DP will still beat Naru. Also notice second place Noman Irfan, going to Worlds WCC member. I gave him basically my list and helped him out with that, and he's obviously an insane player, so put those two together and boom, we got another Worlds invite, baby. Congrats to you. Third, Felix Lopez, and then fourth, Michael Kia. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, honestly. With Steam Maiden. Now for the Puerto Rico top 8 standard, we have 3 prisons. So remember how these 3 prisons then ended up getting first, second, and third? So that's like a perfect conversion rate. He went from 3 prisons in top 8 to 3 prisons to Worlds. Wild. And then 1 Kyrie, 1 Nirvana, 1 Flagberg. I'm pretty sure the Flagberg was outer orange, so congrats to you on another top. Always cool to see more content creators, you know, putting in the competitive work as well. 1 Bruise and 1 Buff Sagara. Nothing too out of the ordinary. I know a lot of people were, you know, surprised that Flagberg was good when it wasn't that known yet. But yeah, with Magnolia gone, this is the best deck to be abusing inlets, so it makes sense. Now for V Premium top 4 Leeds, the first place is Steam Maiden. What a surprise. The second place is Ripple. That is a surprise. You know, like Ripple, of course, in Premium was nuts, but in V, I haven't seen that really yet. I know some people were playing Tavas and splashing in the Genovius as some type of finisher, you know, like if you've already have all these Excel circles and you need just a billion gazillion attacks, then Ripple is really solid to just splash into Tavas, but as a pure deck, that's really wild. I haven't seen that yet. Third place, we have Fenrir. I know in the Prism meta, this deck was pretty interesting because you could use the hand trap grade 2 essentially and then wipe their board and it would get rid of a lot of stuff. It would really weaken them, but I don't know about this meta. Like I didn't test it yet, so it's interesting that it got third. Overall, I think Steam Maiden can play around the hand trap play, so I don't know how good it is right now, but it got third. It's going to World, so congrats. And then fourth was Valkyrion. Valkyrion still really solid. It's actually the one deck I feel that can go toe-to-toe with Steam Maiden sometimes, in the sense that it can literally just high roll and then you don't care who's sitting in front of you. But that's not something I would personally rely on when going to an event, but it is possible. Then for the top 8 for Leeds, we see the 3 Genesis, 2 Aqua Force, 1 Gear Chronicle, 1 Naru, 1 DP. So the 1 Gear Chronicle in top 8 is really wild to me. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why this chart isn't like 6 Steam Maidens right now, but okay, cool for them. And then the 1 DP is apparently Enigman. That is weird to me as well. I know about like a hee funny OTK with Enigman, but I don't know if it's more than a meme or not. But I don't know about it in V. Then for Leeds top 4 in Standard, we have first place Zorga. It kind of makes sense when you see that second and fourth is Gravidia, because Zorga does eat Gravidia alive. There's a lot of really good decks that eat Zorga alive, but if this Zorga player played like against Gravidia, Gravidia literally scoops to that deck. There's almost nothing you can do beyond sacking. Congrats, you know, I love Zorga. I don't have it fully maxed out, but I still have like a lot of cards from Zorga in high rarity. I love the deck personally, but I didn't think it would be, you know, this competitively viable. Though, of course, one event, you can't just say, oh, Zorga's best deck or something like that. But okay, cool. Congrats, Sergi. Then we have second Gravidia, third Flagberg, fourth Gravidia. And then if we check out the top 8 for that event, we see 3 Tegria, and none of those actually made it in. So it, like, if you looked at this chart, you'd think, wow, Tegria best deck, and then all of them got annihilated by the time we got to top 4. And then we see the 1 Prison to fill in that last slot. Now for Indonesia, which we were missing because it was last week, we have first place Kyrie, second place Gravidia, third place Kyrie, and fourth place Kyrie. This is more so what I would be expecting personally. Like if I were to go to a standard event, I would think this is what I would see, but other events seem to disagree. Also, third place Derek Dow getting his Worlds invite for standard, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna play premium instead, so congrats to you. For Indonesia V Premium, we have first place Jewel Knights, second place Maelstrom, third place the Steam Maiden, and fourth place Leopold Reverse. Leopold Reverse, love this deck, a little bit sacky, definitely not as good as Steam Maiden, but you know, still solid for sure. Weird though that those two decks were then beaten out by both Jewel Knight and Maelstrom. Now I know Jewel Knight can be extremely sacky sometimes. Like if you want to pick a deck that can randomly win against Steam Maiden, regardless of your input, you can play Jewel Knights or Valkyrion, and you have a shot of winning purely because of you didn't get to play. Still a really solid deck though. Like Clan Collection definitely helped it out. It's more so that if you just played both decks purely in their engine without any weird hee haha moments, Steam Maiden should probably win. And then second place Maelstrom is also really interesting. I'm not sure which type of Maelstrom though, because are they playing a normal Maelstrom game? Are they playing a reverse Maelstrom? Or are they going a bunch of fronts with glory, hee hee haha prage? I don't know. Would be interesting to see. If we check out the top 8 for that event, we see the 2 Jewel Knights, the 1 Steam Maiden only. Wow. 1 Golds, 1 Great Nature, 1 Naru, 1 Bermuda, and 1 Aqua Force. Very diverse top. Very, very surprising top, honestly. And then for the top 4 for premium in Indonesia, we see first place Highlander, second place Highlander Derek Dao getting that Worlds invite, third place David Adipratama, otherwise known as Wirup, getting third place, so our very own Wirup with Aqua Force, his favorite clan, going to Worlds as well, and then fourth place Johannes with Spike Brothers. This makes sense. Personally, it's been a little bit of a funny meme that I don't think Aqua Force is a real deck and Wirup says it's amazing, so I guess he proves it right here. Very nice. And then for the top 8 for that event, we had the 2 Highlander, 1 Naru only, 1 Pale Moon, 1 Aqua, 1 Spikes, 1 Gram Blue. It seems it was a Scaredick deck, and then 1 Murakumo. Once again, Shirayuki will sometimes, you know, just have those random tops here and there. I think it's a solid rogue deck overall. Though the 1 Scaredick I find interesting as well. Like Scaredick, it's really scary, haha, sometimes, and then sometimes it just flops over and dies. With that being said, you know, it is still terrifying to play against, and it's not really in your control if you're winning or not against them. Like, it'll just depend on did they open the whole hee hee haha or not. Probably, in my opinion, that deck should get hit in some way. Not because it's best deck, you know, not even close, honestly. If I had to pick decks for an event, I would pick 7 decks before picking that one, but it is extremely feels bad that your loss is completely out of your control. It's kind of similar to the loop decks from back in the day that weren't good, like the Mura Infinite Loop or something like that, or the Fina Infinite Loop, in the sense that if it goes off, it just randomly wins and it doesn't matter what you do about it. But yeah, that's a conversation for another day. So that was the meta analysis for this weekend and the last. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Were there any decks you were surprised by? Do you think I missed any spicy decks that really were different than the charts would say? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to go to 50cards.shop and use the code Solemn for a discount. Link is in the description, and I will see you soon. Ciao.